What's up? Black men need to be vulnerable around each other. We have to just understand that in general, the world is just not sensitive to a man's problems, but more specifically, a black man's problems over everybody. Nobody cares about what that man may go through, what that man, may be feeling like. And I'm understanding to be a stronger black man, we have to understand how to categorize things and to learn that being a man is not just being stoic and not showing emotion and acting like you don't have a weakness. Now, I think that there's a proper way for you to use your weakness to become stronger. And the thing that I've seen in my life and that I understand is that when a man can be vulnerable around another man, that usually makes a man feel better about himself when another man can understand and relate and have empathy for another man. And the reason I say this is because the when you have a lot of men who are emotionally unavailable and they can't open up to anybody, this creates an environment where men don't feel accepted, men don't feel like they're heard, and a man can go down a route of not feeling like a man, and he can that can create identity issues. And the thing that we have to understand is we have to know when to be vulnerable. I'm not out here saying that you should be vulnerable to your girlfriend or to your wife or to you know a lot of the times girls in general, and yeah, they can be as nice as they can, but a lot of the times, if it's somebody romantic in your life, I would say, or even a girl in general, a lot of times they won't be sensitive. They won't have an incentive to really care about your problems because I feel as though they'll only see it as a weakness. And yeah, you might find a girl out of the bunch that will say this and say that, but even from my own experience, in general, a girl will attack a dude and just not care. I'm talking about she will attack his sexuality, his confidence, just who he is as a man. She'll attack his identity, and I think I've seen that so much growing up with me at times, but also with a lot of other men, where people just pick on a man, a black man, and just not care, and a lot of us bottle that in. And I don't think that the solution is to bottle stuff up and then never show anybody who you are. One thing I feel like I lacked growing up is a emotionally open father. And not to just, hate on my father or anything, but I believe that that created a thing where sometimes it created a a, a thing in me where did I feel accepted? Did I feel like a man? You know, Obviously it wasn't as bad, I would say, because we still did connect on a lot of levels. We still did a lot of stuff together, but I'm only saying this to say that when you have a man that's emotionally unavailable and you have a man who never opens up to maybe his problems in life and his vulnerabilities in life, the things that he done went through, uh this will make you a weaker man. Depending on who you tell, obviously it can vary, but I don't think it's a good thing to bottle that in. I think if you have other men who understand you, who y'all have an affirmative relationship, y'all both want to be stronger in life, I think those are the relationships where it's okay to be vulnerable, and if you are vulnerable, you're only going to become stronger. The people in my life in general that I could open up to and be vulnerable around, I was always myself around them. I never had to fake anything. Uh I never had to put up a front or be scared of what they were gonna say because they knew my weaknesses. I could talk about the stuff that I struggle with and they understand, and they could talk with me about the stuff they struggle with. So the more you open up with other men, oftentimes that's going to make you more comfortable and stronger in your identity and in your masculinity as a man. And the beautiful thing about it is you won't have to fake any of that. You won't have to fake it. And this is something that a lot of guys just purely don't understand. because we are in a mentality of where we think masculinity is this concept of you can't show who you are. You got to constantly be stoic and you can't show any emotion. Understand that your emotions are a part of who you are, and it's all about how you use your emotions and how you choose to open up about your emotions to other men. I'm not going to sit here and say just open up your emotions to everybody, because everybody does not care about you. I think if you're a black man and you got vulnerabilities in life, go to other black men who may understand you, who may relate to you. Obviously, even then, it's men who they're gonna pick on you because they don't care about you. But I think a lot of the times you have another black man who wants to see you go up in life. It's always gonna benefit you when you become vulnerable around those men. And when I mean vulnerable, I just mean you can open up about the stuff that you don't feel that confident about, or the things that you may struggle with, right? The things where it's kind of a hardship in your life and something you're getting through, something you're trying to figure out, right? A girl really not gonna care about that as much. When we all know that people in general out in the world not gonna care as much. But that's why it's important for us to come together and us to be vulnerable with each other. And that's just the thing that I've seen. The more a guy can be vulnerable around other men, the more he's grounded in who he is, and he doesn't have to keep putting up fronts. I would say, don't show your emotions to everybody. Don't not show your emotions, but don't show your weaknesses and your vulnerabilities to everybody, because some people are gonna make you feel bad about your weaknesses. Some people are gonna uh they're gonna capitalize off of your weaknesses. But if you have another man who understands you or maybe relates to you more, and maybe they can just connect with your experiences better, because they may have similar experiences. Those are the guys you should be vulnerable around. And I think that in my life, I didn't always understand that, because I thought that, oh, a man got to be like this, a man got to be like that. When you really start to analyze who the real weak men and who the real strong men are, you start to see that it's not how it's portrayed. It's really not how it's portrayed. And I still do have, like, obviously a traditional masculine type of mindset about things, but I'm trying to actually see who's about it and who's not actually about it. And I think the men who are emotionally unavailable, they rob themselves of, like, being free, as far as really showing how strong they are, really being comfortable and not caring, and really expressing themselves to the fullest extent. So that's pretty much all I got to say. Peace out.